Really? You're talking about the art scroll?
No.
The Shod Vishinantam? Oh, here it is. I see.
Niddah.
It might be Chulin. There's a bunch of Vishinantams down there, by the way. I don't know what they are. Okay. A gute Woche. Rabbi said, I have a question for the Olam. It's an embarrassing question. There's a halacha that's very famous. It should be very yadua, but not everybody knows. I asked people, and I couldn't believe the different responses that I got. It goes like this: If a woman does a bedika cloth, and there's mashu dam on it, and we know for a fact it's dam, it's red, it has all the characteristics. Do you have to ask a Rav a Shaila to see what size it is? V'chulu v'chulu?
Is it round?
No, it's not. Okay, fine. So we're all in agreement that a mashu is matama with an aid, with a b'dika cloth. You see what I'm talking about? Gershon. You see?
He started.
Okay. So, I don't think you're aware. That's what. Okay. Here's a Shaila. Ooh, a big welcome. Shkoyach for coming. Big chizuk. Wow. His father's nifter. He's at Shiva. He just came back from Shiva. All right.
What happens if it's round?
No. That's on Kesem. Now I have a Shaila. Here, Rabbi say, if you know the answer 100%, don't answer. But this is embarrassing Shaila. If a woman sees on her clothing dam, and let's say the clothing is white, but it's very small. It's more than a mashu, but it's the size of the size of a half a shekel. Not a half a shekel. Sorry, half of a shekel. What we call today a shekel, half of that size. What's the halacha? You go to the Rav, you ask him, it's red, mamish red on white clothing. The Olam knows the halacha or not? This is like the basics of Hilchas Niddah. Again, Nachamal. Do you go to the Rav?
Is it above?
Do you ask a Rav the Shaila? What are you guys going to do? I'm asking you. You guys been married before? You're looking at me like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Nachamal. It's on her beged. The beged is white. It's red and it's very small. It's this size. Red, bright red. You go to the Rav. You ask Rabbi Davidovich, what do? He says no. What do you say? What? Don't even go to the Rav. Very good. What do you say? Hello, Gary, what do you say?
Definitely don't go to the Rav.
Do you ever when do you go to the Rav, Gary? When do you go to the Rav? At what size? When? Okay, anyways, that's what we're going to see today. Rabbi say you don't go to the Rav. You don't go to the Rav because anything that's less than like a shekel size, you don't even go to the Rav. Because it's a kesem. If it's on her beged, however, if it's on a b'dika cloth, then it's tamei. Then you go to the Rav. I'm saying if it's bright red,
you don't go to the Rav.
Right. You know you're tamei. Exactly. Okay, fine. Now we can start the sugya.
What was that for? It's a daf.
Today is Daf Nun Tes, but we're starting, on Daf Nun Ches Amud Beis, the last word.
And if it's on her toe, you just take her toe. Take off the toe.
No, that's on her goof. That's not, you're mixing up Kesem, but it's also a Kesem. Fine. Anyways, we finished off, let's finish off the sugya. We finished off yesterday discussing Ad Vad Bechlal. The Mishnah says, Kigris, if you could be toilet by a gris, the size of a gris, a split bean. Now, we had a shayla. Does it mean that the gris itself, if it's exactly the size of a bean, is tamei or tar? Ad v'ad b'chlal or ad v'lo yad b'chlal? Says the Gemara Meisvei. So holding on today's daf, let's try to keep it that way. Where's my credit card that was here?
It was here.
Watch these guys.
Yeah. There's nothing on this. This is an old key from a hotel. Listen to this. You're not going to believe if you try to read this line without Rashi, what would you say? Hold on, Mr. Feder. Hold on. I gave you compliments on Friday. Above and below it says. No. Says Rashi, tipi domim lamato means small ones. V'tipi domim lamala means large dam. Toilo be'elyoin antigris. Says Rashi, Toilo be'elyoin, I take the larger ones and I say that the larger ones, if each one is a gris, ad kigris, then whatever the halacha is. So now, depends what the halacha is. Is a gris tamei or is a gris tar? So the Gemara says, my lav kigris milamato, that it should be tar because it's less than a gris. Do we view a whole gris like less than a gris? Lamata meaning small. Loi, no raya kigris milamalo. Gris means above. Tosfos has a bunch of questions and has a completely different pshat. He says, why all of a sudden does the Gemara use a different language? Lamata, instead of saying in the whole shas it says katan gadol. All of a sudden, lamata. And he asked me a question from here. I asked a question from the Mishnah. A lot of very good questions. And therefore he comes up with a completely different shot. And he says, literally, lamata means above the belt, below the belt. Okay. Zokti Gemara. Itmar. Nimtza aleo kigris v'oid. Now we're in trouble. Because they found a gris, and that everybody agrees that gris v'oid is tummy. However, there's a crushed louse attached to that a little bit more. Machloikis. Why? When do I say that a gris is a kina, is a louse, gris void loitalia? But now it's more than a louse. So basically he's saying, look, if I don't know where the dam is, and it's less than a gris, so I'll say, okay, maybe there's a louse. Where's the louse? It's not here. But I'll say it's a louse. Now I have a gris plus, and there's a louse. So the louse takes care of the plus. And now I'm left with a gris. So what's the problem? So what's the svara to say that it's asur? That's no good. The svara is, how could there be two lice in one place? That's crazy already. To say that there was one lice, Dr. Epstein gave me a look the other day, that's also crazy. To say that punkta louse came was crushed, but to say that two lice created 1.5 gris in the same exact spot, that's too much. That's already too much. What?
Depends on where they lived.
They lived in exactly. 1,500 years ago.
On the other hand,
yeah.
not every saying that gris is the approximate amount of blood that a louse would create. But not every louse has got the same amount of blood. Why can't you say
not more. But never more than one. It's a maximum. Gris is the maximum. We had a shiloh whether the gris, exactly gris, is okay and or slightly below gris, but everybody agrees a little bit above gris for sure is tamei. There is no louse that creates more than a gris blood. So that's the shear. Chum gave a shear. Now we have 1.5. Could we say that there's a dead louse here and that takes care of the va'id, and now you're just stuck with a regular amount of dam that a kino could take care of? Or perhaps no, 2 kinim in one shot, no. Kivin de ba'almo tal yochen. Fine. Posik gris, kivin de ba'almo tal yochen hamitali. Boy Rabbi Yirmiyah. What's the story here? This woman was dealing with blood. She had exactly a gris of blood in her hand. Not dam niddah. She was dealing with a bird that she had a gris of blood. Then all of a sudden she finds dam. She doesn't know what it is, where it's from. She finds a gris void. Now in her hand she only had a gris, but she found gris void. So it can't be that it came from her hand because in her hand she only had less than that, 1 gris, not gris void. So now what? To boiler Reb Chanino, to boiler Reb Yanai. So we could have svarus in both ways, says the Gemara. To boiler Reb Chanino, ad kan lekoma Reb Chanino hosam tmeya, elo de lo nisasko. Over there, but when she found a louse void and there was a louse there, there was no. She wasn't dealing with anything else. Aval hocha de nisasko. Talio, Oidilmo. So what's going on here? In the case of she finds a gris va'oid and there's a louse. Over there, Reb Chanina says, tmeya. Why? Because you only could use one louse. You can't assume that perhaps there's two lice. But over here, she was dealing with dam. She had dam on her hand. Let's say she was cooking chicken, and there was exactly a gris of dam. And then she finds on her beged, she finds one gris and a little bit more than a gris. So perhaps, now here's the Svar Rabbi say. He's saying that's very different. Why is it different? Because now you have to make two assumptions, and we don't want to make two assumptions. That's very hard to make two assumptions. You have to make an assumption that the dam from her bowl, from that pot that she's cooking with, jumped out and hit her clothing. That's assumption number one. Assumption number two is that exactly in that same spot, she killed a louse. That's too far-fetched to say two assumptions. But to say that there was a louse and another louse, that's only one assumption. Why? Because the louse is in front of you. There's one dead one smushed right over here. Now the other part is an assumption. That's only one assumption. You're not assuming anything from the first louse because he's crushed in front of you. That's not an assumption. That's a fact. The fact is that there's one louse crushed. You only have to come on to assumption number one, which is perhaps there's a second louse. Okay? But over here you have to come on to two assumptions. Or perhaps no, maybe Rabbi Yani said over there that she's tahar because at the end of the day there's a louse there, and that louse takes care of the va'oid, and all you have left is one shear. But over here that you don't have the louse to be toilet, not toshma. Nisaska ba'adaim ain't toilet b'shachar. If a woman is dealing with red blood, and then she finds a bird or anything, she's dealing with red blood, not her. She's dealing with chicken again. Let's take the example. She's cooking chicken. Chicken has red blood. Chicken is not a good example. Let's say a pigeon. Fine. It doesn't matter. Any bird. It's red. And then, only because the Gemara says chicken is different later in a second. The Gemara says chicken. So the other example is she's dealing with makeup. Red makeup. And then all of a sudden she sees black. What's the connection between black and red? She's dealing with red. Why would I assume, because she's dealing with red, that she's going to have black? So Memela ain't toila. She can't use that as an excuse. It's not a good assumption. Bimuat, if she, I didn't save this thing over here. It's shtusim. Bimuat, if she was dealing with very little dam, ain't toila ba bimruba. So she can't say that a lot of dam is connected to that. Hey chidami, lavke agavna. Isn't it exactly our case that what she was dealing with a little amount of blood, a kegris, and she found a gris and a half, gris void. That's the case. She was dealing with muat, and she found meruba, and it doesn't work. Loi kigoyin denis asko bekigris v'nimtza alel shnei grisim va'oid. What happened was she was dealing with one, and she found 2.5. So 2.5, since she was Isaac with only one, you can't assume that 2.5 came from one. Okay, yishkoyach, of course. If she's only dealing with one, then it doesn't give her a heter. Maybe you could get a heter for 2, because she was Isaac with one, and one came from a louse, that equals 2. But how can you get a heter for 2.5? 2.5 will never work. Yachim I remember what's the chiddush. That's my beautiful picture that came up Motzi Shabbos in 2.5 seconds. So if you have two drops of dam, maybe this is what happened. That the bird dam, the chicken dam, fell in between the two. That's exactly what happened. We see dam, it's 2.5 gris, but now perhaps this one came in the middle, and therefore this is not a shear, and this is not a shear, and she's tar. If we say that there's 2 drops and this so happened to fall smack in the center, then this creates a situation where this is not a shear and this is not a shear. I would think such a thing. Zilacha like a shear, zilacha like a shear. Komash malan. Good, you can have this as a present. And then if you behave, I'll give you my credit card at the end of the share. Amar Rava.
I wouldn't turn down like that.
Not my real credit card, this one. My expired Waldorf card. Amar Rava nimtza leo min echad. Toileba kama minim. Unbelievable. You hear this halacha? A woman is dealing with one kind of dam, chicken dam, and then she finds on herself bull's dam, different color, tar. I could say the same way this got on her, that got on her. Toileba kama minim. We might see this far soon. Meisvei nisaska ba'adoim kasha. We just learned that if she's dealing with red blood, ain't toilet b'shachar. She can't make an assumption that the same way the red got on her, the black got on her. Says the Gemara nisasko shani. If you read the words, what is Rava's case? Rava's nimtza aleha. A woman finds dam. What happened? A woman was walking through the street. She comes home and she sees red dam on her skirt. Okay. How did it get there? She has no idea. So perhaps it got there because somebody splattered it on her. Okay, so then the same way that got on there, the red, so to the black. But if a woman is misasik with red, she's cooking chicken, so how's that going to give her a heter for black dam? How did it go from chicken to black? It's just saying nimtza. If she found on her, so for any reason it got there, whatever the reason is, that's the same reason why there's two different shades of colors. But over here we know the reason. The reason is because she was dealing with it. She was cooking it. Some say that Rava was saying, he says mefurish nisaska. She was dealing with it. She was holding it. And the Gemara is going to explain what this means. She was dealing with the red, then she could also assume that the black is because of that red that she was dealing with. Meisvei nisaska ba'adoim. It says mufurish, if she's dealing with red, you can't use it for black blood. When she was dealing with a chicken, this dama. A chicken has different types of blood. The innards, different shades. And when she was oisik with a chicken, then I could assume all different colors that are on her from that one chicken. Mashain Kane. If she's Isaac red, doesn't mean that she's going to see black, that the black has anything to do with the red. It's one specific case of a woman dealing with a chicken. So we learned in the Mishnah, there was a story with a woman who came to Rebbe Akiva, and Rebbe Akiva he made her tar. How? He said, do you have a wound? She said, I had a wound that healed. And then he said, okay, but if you put moisture, you introduce moisture, it gets a little scrape, is it going to bleed? And she said, yes, okay, fine, your tar. So his Talmidim looked at him and wondered what's going on. Why are you trying to look for a heter? He says, a kesem is the rabbanon. You make as many kulas as you can. So the Gemara is going to deal with this. Hatanya, what?
Why does it mention the story?
In the Mishnah that we learned yesterday. In the Mishnah, on nun chesam beis, noyacham beis. V'tanya lo yomru chacham misadover lahokil elo hachmir. But what's going on here? The whole kesem business is a chumrah derabbanon. In order, what does it mean that they made a chumrah? That people shouldn't be mizalzel. By the way, Mandy, I don't want to say that. My kids use it now to lush in the house. Zalzel. They learned from your house. Zalzel. They don't want to be mizalzel. We shouldn't be mizalzel in Niddah. So they made up a chumrah. Kesem, ksamim. You got to be careful with ksamim. So what are you telling me? That a kesem is a kula. You should be makel and say lice created the dam and this created the dam. The whole point of the kesem is the chumrah. You're right. A kesem is one step more than what the Torah tells us. The Torah says dam, and now we're also makbid on a kesem. Of course, that's a chumrah. Uksamim atzmim derabbanon. However, don't forget that where does it originate from? It originates from the rabbanon. And when it comes to the rabbanon, I can be makel as much as I want. I should be makel, says Rebbe Akiva. Try to come up with every kula you can to get out of the kesem. But the whole kesem is actually a chumrah. Eichu nasun. So look at the end of the Mishnah for a second. Last line in the Mishnah. Eichu nasun tachas akar v'nimtza olav dam. If there's a bdika cloth that she couldn't check or she didn't want to check and she put it under a pillow, and then when she checked it, agoil, it's round tar, mashuch tamei. If it's elongated, it's tamei. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer Rebbe Tzadok. Shalom Aleichem Rebbe Eliezer Rebbe Tzadok. Who argues with the Rebbe Elazar Tzaddik? Anybody? No mention b'chlal in the Mishnah. You would assume by reading the Mishnah without any Gemara, you would say that's it. There's nobody that argues. It's halacha from him, and that's what the Gemara is going to be talking about. There's no mention, but perhaps there's no need to mention. Maybe somebody does argue. Toshma, kesem aruch mitzdarif. If it's an elongated kesem, then it's mitzdarif to the gris. Tipin ein mitzdarifin. Mani, Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok lama leitziruf. According to our Mishnah, Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok says, Homer mashuch kol shu tamei. He said, it doesn't say a shear, mashuch tamei, finished. If it's on a cloth, as everybody knows, a b'dika cloth, doesn't matter how much dam it is, dam nida is mitam b'mashu. A b'dika cloth is dam nida. It just found the dam nida on the spot, so it's b'kol shu mitama if it's elongated. Elolav, Rabbanon, Shma min pligi. So l'chayr, you see this is machlokes. Loi, from here is not a raya. Loi lam Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok. V'chiyamar Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok. In our Mishnah, Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok was talking about be'ed. He was talking about a cloth. Ava bekesem loi. Kesem not. This is talking about a kesem. Our Mishnah is talking about a cloth. Toshma Domer Rebbe Yudah Shmuel Halachik Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok. From the fact that we say that Shmuel says, either review the name of Shmuel said directly, that the halachas are Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok, Michlal de Pligi. It's obvious that there's actually a machlokes, and that's why Shmuel had a pasuk like Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Tzadok. That's why he's in the Mishnah, like a Stam Mishnah, but there is a machlokes. Zog Deilagi Mishnah, we had this sugi already. Oh, Hadron Aloch. Hadron Aloch Haroi Kesem, Hadron Aloch Haroi Kesem. I don't know if I could say it 3 times. Usually say 3 times. One for Gemara, one for Rashi, one for Tosfos. Rashi nunu bedoichak. Tosfos.
We just spoke about Tosfos the whole day.
Yeah, this.
So you get another one out.
1 or 2. The short ones. I told you about my Rebbe. My Rebbe had a ruler, and any Tosfos that was more than like 10 centimeters, he said, that's too long, you can't learn this.
Those are the easier ones.
What?
The bigger ones are the easy ones.
My Rabbi used to say, long Rashi's oivei. Long Tosfos is easy.
There's a woman who's meiraglaim, v'roas adam, and she finds dam in the meiraglaim. Depends if she's sitting or standing, and the Gemara is going to explain. Basically, Remeir holds.
We never said this before.
Oh yes, we did, big time. You weren't here on Friday?
I was here on Friday.
It wasn't Friday, it was
Oh,
Thursday.
it was Thursday. Thursday. Oh, maybe you weren't here on Thursday. Big sugya. It was on Amud Beis. Where was it? Maybe. Nun Zayin Amud Beis. Anyways, we learned it. Akoponim. Remeir holds that Meiraglaim don't go back, don't reverse. And I have a little bit more of understanding today after I read a lot of art scroll, massive amounts of art scroll on today's daf that go into great detail on this sugya. And basically, 2 things you saw this that Remeir says. Meiraglaim do not reverse backwards. They don't track backwards and grab with them, niddah dam and come out. And second of all, when a woman is dealing with Meiraglaim, the body cannot produce niddah at the same time. Fine. Rabbi Yossi Omer, and we're going to go into more detail. Rabbi Yossi Omer, benkach hu benkach tahira. Doesn't matter if she's standing or sitting, she's tar. Ish v'isha shazu tzrachem l'tech ha'seifel. Now, if you add a man into this picture, so now the man is just adding another suffix to everything. Right? It becomes a svek sveko. So Rabbi Meir, who says in the beginning that, Rabbi Yossi, who says benkach hu benkach tahira, certainly in this case, if you add a man to the equation, of course she's tar. Even by herself, she's tar. We don't think that perhaps it's dam nida. What is it if it's not dam nida? It's dam maka. In English, it's called a urinary tract infection. It comes from there, not from nidus. So of course Rabbi Yossi is going to say it's tar. It's a svek sveka, and the Gemara is going to deal with this. If it's so pasha, why does he have to say? Now, pay attention over here. So the first 2 shitas in the Mishnah, when it was only a woman, and we made a distinction between sitting and standing, it's Remeir. And then comes Rabbi Yossi's Metar, Remeir says Tameh. And now in the Seifo, when you say the case about an Ish and an Isha, all of a sudden, it stays Rabbi Yossi, that he says Tar, But the one that's mechuluk on Rabbi Yossi is all of a sudden Rabbi Shimon. So the Gemara is going to ask, what does Rabbi Shimon hold in the first case? By just a woman. And what does Rabbi Meir hold in the second case? Shein dercha ish lo hoitzi dam elo shecheskas domim min ha'isha. So says Rabbi Shimon, it's not a sfek sveko, because a man doesn't have dam. It's the chazaka that 99% of the time it comes from the woman. So Meila, I'm not dealing with the man. Just because he's in the picture, he's not in the picture halachically. And Meila, I'm right back to the first situation. We have a woman who has dam. Is it dam maka or dam niddah? I say it's dam niddah, she's tummy.
And he doesn't distinguish between standing and sitting?
Right. Zog the Gemara, Maishno Medes, and the Gemara is going to go into this. Exactly what you're asking, because it doesn't mention standing, sitting in the second case. Maishno Medes, Damina Miraglaim, Hodur Lamakar, Vaisidam, Yusheves Nami, Nemo Miraglaim, Hodur Lamakar, Vaisidam. What's the difference if you're standing or sitting? Now, just to mention a little bit of how this thing works, because it kind of bothered me scientifically. How does it work? Is there a connection between the urinary tract and the uterus? How does it get there? So basically, what the article explains in great length, I'll save you the whole thing. I don't know how you don't have it. Basically, he says no. Maybe one pshat is that the lining is so thin that sometimes if it's dachok, there's a lot of pressure, it holds back. Fine, but what he's saying is that it's possible for it to come out and then reverse backtrack, and the body traps it, and eventually it works its way up. So it does come out of her goof and comes back in, and that's how it gets it. But there's a concept here that he says in English, it's called overflow incontinence. And basically, if there's an overflow, it causes such pressure on the body that the woman loses control, like muscle control, and then it doesn't come out in a stream, because the Gemara is going to be talking about a stream now and not a stream, and this is called sheiseses. It just comes down and hits her legs versus streaming out. And that happens when she's standing. It can also happen when she's sitting, but most of the time it doesn't. But when a woman is standing, it's an indication that that's what's going on medically. In other words, there's no control, and it's sheises. It comes right out. Memela. Says the Gemara, Yusheves Nami Neima Miraglayim Hodala Makar. Isn't it possible that also while she's sitting, it could reverse track? Vaisidam. Amar Shmuel b'mizanekes. Mizanekes is streaming. So when she's sitting, there's a stream. So Mela, she's healthy. There's no way it's going to reverse track. The only time it can reverse track is there's no stream. There's no mizanekes. Okay, so she had a stream. Everything is over. Asidam. How do you know? We're looking in a bowl now, right? We're talking about a seifel. There's a bowl. In the bowl is dam. How do you know when the dam got there? Maybe she finished doing her thing, and then afterwards, dam niddah fell into there, without a stream. Omer Rabbi Sheves al svasa seifel. Umzanekes b'toicha seifel. V'nim sedam b'toicha seifel. B'kitzer, dam niddah doesn't come out in a stream. It just comes out, and it's too far for the dam niddah to reach this bowl. The misa, the boss of the dam umayasio, asvasa seifel liboyer leidishtakuchei. Then you should have seen the dam maybe at most on the edge of the seifel, but not inside the seifel. At the end of the day, Rabbi Yossi says it doesn't matter if you're standing or sitting. It's tar. Rabbi Abba told it to a person by the name of Kala. Says Rashi, Shem Adam. Halachik Rabbi Yossi. Fine. Ishvi Isha. Ibaylu. Ishvi Isha Oimdim. Mali Omer Rabbi Meir. What if I add a man to the picture and they're both standing? Now, Ki Omer Rabbi Meir Bechat Sveika. Rabbi Meir is only talking about a woman standing. Rabbi Meir said she's tameh when she's standing, because then I could assume that it's dam niddah, not dam maka, because of this whole thing that we just discussed. But now if I add a man to the picture, maybe it came from him. There's no difference. How can I prove it? There's no mention in the second case about Rabbi Meir. If Rabbi Meir agrees that it's tar, shouldn't the Mishnah mention Remeir holds in the first case tamei, but in the second case when they add a sveka to it, Remeir agrees that it's tar, but there's no mention. Yachi hashto Remeir b'sveka metamen. So Remeir is metamen. What are you telling me? Remeir is metamen in both cases. One woman standing together with a man. In both cases, Tomei. Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to say the really strong case where there's a sveka, there's a man in the picture, and it's still Tomei. It's a tremendous chiddush that I don't, even in a sveka, I say a woman is Tomei. How come Remeir doesn't say it? No, of course he says it over there. But I want to tell you that even in a case where there's a sveka, the fil b'chat sveka, mitayer. Rabbi Yossi says, even in one suffix, I don't need to come on to sveka, tar. Why did you pick the first machlokes between Remeir and Rabbi Yossi? Say the second machlokes in the sveka. Says the Gemara, it's a lot easier to be machmir. Everybody knows that. If I don't know exactly that, you're tummy. That's not, when a person is certain about himself and he says, no, you are tar, go home, you are tar, that's a lot harder. And koyach de teira adif, that's why koyach de teira is a lot stronger, and that's what we're trying to bring out here. Rabbi Yochanan Amar ki komer Rabbi Meir bechat sveika. Rabbi Yochanan is mechulik on Rish Lakish. What, koyach de teira adif? Of course, why not? That's why, because it's adif. It's harder. Exactly the point. Exactly the point. It's harder. Who was it? I told you about this, that Rav. I don't know who it is, but somebody was telling me about this. These Rabbanim that said that they know Ksamim and they were matter a lot of people and they proved them wrong. It's not always so posh. Anyway. Kiko Amar Remei B'chad Sveiko Avos Fek Sveiko Loi Omar. Says Rabbi Yochanan Mechulga Rish Lakish. This Rabbi Yossi said, this Rabbi Meir said she's Tomei is because there's only one suffix. But when there's two Sveikis, Tar. Imkei, listen to Rabbi Yossi Mitarim. This is a good kasha. This is a good kasha. How come it doesn't say Mefurish in the Mishnah that Rabbi Meir is Mitar? It would be great for us to know that Rabbi Meir is Mitar in such a case. And Chanami, says Rabbi Yochanan, it should say. Va'idid, the Salgim Rabbi Yossi, Pasach Rabbi Yossi. The Reisha finishes off with the name Rabbi Yossi, so it starts the Sefer of Rabbi Yossi completely ignoring it. So you're going to ask, so it should say Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Meir Mitar? Fine. Akapanim, we forgot to mention Rabbi Meir, even though he should be in the Sefer that he's Mitar. If Rabbi Yossi holds that in one suffix she's tar, certainly when I add the man to the picture and it becomes a svek sveka, she should be tar. I need to tell you that even in case that what? I would say that if a woman this is what happened to the woman. She was oisik b'taharis. She found dam in a seifel. She touched some taharis. She went to the Rav. The Rav said, you know what? It's fine. You don't have to throw out the taharis. But what if right now she wants to deal with taharis? She went to the Rav and she said that she found dam in the seifel. Could she touch a tahara l'chatchila? Komash melon, yes. Ta'inkav say the Rabbi Yochanan. We have proof like Rabbi Yochanan. Ish v'isha sha'asu tzrocheim l'toich ha'seifel v'nimtzo dam al ha'mayim. Meir, this is our case. There was a man and a woman, so it became a svek sveka. It says Mefurish, Meir v'Rabbi Yossi mitarim. Meir goes away from his first halacha that he says she's tamei. In this case, he says she's tar because it's svek sveka. Reb Shimon mitamei, and Reb Shimon is mechulek on them. Ibaylu. Isha yosheves maliyom Reb Shimon. In the second case, it doesn't talk about Yoshev. What does it say in the Mishnah? Ish v'isha she'asu tzrichei l'teich ha'sefel v'nintzeh dam al ha'mayim. There's a man and a woman. Reb Shimon says tamei. What about a case where there's just the Isha Yesheves? When she's standing, we explained that physically it's possible to backtrack and bring dam because it's dochik. Ava Yesheves loy or dima loishno. Tashma detzanya Yesheves toila or medes eino toila. If she's sitting, she could say that she's toilet or what? Or medicine toilet that it's dam nido Yesheves not. Divrei Reb Meir, Reb Yosi Omer benkach ubenkach toila. Reb Shimon Omer benkach ubenkach, even sitting toila. So that's your answer. You asked me if Reb Shimon, what does Reb Shimon say by when she sits? Over here you see benkach ubenkach, sitting and standing is the same. Iboilu, eino toila. Iboilu ish v'isha yoishvim mali Omer Reb Shimon. Again, there's no mention if they're sitting. So maybe he'll say it's a sfek in tar. Is she's by herself? There's one safek. Alva b'sfek lo yomar. Oydima lo yishna. Tashma. Ki nomer Reb Shimon cheskas dam min isha. Reb Shimon is the one that says that we don't consider the man at all. Lo yishna oimdim v'lo yishna yoshrim. It doesn't matter if you add a man to the picture. You don't add a man to the picture. He doesn't add anything to the safek. And memela, once we don't care about him, then it doesn't matter if they're standing or sitting. Zok the Mishnah. Yeah, we could do the Mishnah. Hish'ilo chaluko l'nochris or l'niddah. If a woman gave her beged to a goya, and a goya we said is considered a niddah, or l'niddah, or to a woman who's a niddah. Hareze toila ba. Then they find dam afterwards. So she could assume that the dam that she found. It's from the Niddah. Now, Rashi sticks in here that she wore this beged. She wore the beged, but she could say that, you know what I found afterwards came from the Niddah. This is a concept called toilin hakalkala b'mekulkul. What? Toilin hakalkala b'mekulkul. If I have a kilkul, then I could be toilet in another kilkul. I have a kilkul beforehand. Let's just, instead of ruining a second thing, let's just say that the thing that's ruined already, the kilkul, is what caused the second kilkul. Shalosh nashim shalavshu chalak echad. 3 women wore the same dress, for instance, one after another, not at the same time. Oy shiyashvu al sav selechad, again, one after another. V'nimtza olav dam kulan tmeyos. Now I have nobody to associate and attribute this dam to, so in Mela they are all tamei. Before I had an excuse. I said it went to the Niddah, it went to the goy. Now I have no goy to blame. So the Jew has to take the blame. Yashval asav shaleven, and now this is the halacha that we learned the other day in Shmuel. That was yesterday. If you were here yesterday, you remember we said that Shmuel's halacha is not about argasha; it's about where you find the kesem. So here's the makar. Yashval asav shaleven, if it's made out of stone, and stone is not mekabel tuma. Oh yeah, let's establish shel merchot. Rabbi Nechemi metayer. Rabbi Nechemi says this kesem is tar. Rabbi Nechemi oimer kol dovar sheinu mekabel tuma eino mekabel ksomim, and that's basically what Shmuel repeated the other day. That if the source, the thing that the kesem is on cannot be mekabel tuma, it is tahar. So again, Rabbi Yisai Nachama, let's do chazara. If there's a tiny little dot of dam on a eid bdika cloth, tamei. You could go to the Rav, ask him the kasha. If it's the right color, he's going to say it's tamei. But if there's less than a gris, and everybody says that's about a shekel, on a beged, on an undergarment, you don't have to go to the Rav, even if it's on a white, even if it's on a colored, it doesn't matter. You don't have to go to the Rav because it's less than a gris.